Good evening, everybody. Dadman Walking 55 here, coming to you from the East Coast of the U.S. Only 1 minute after 9. And yes, we have made it. We have made it through the 2025 college football season, kickoff classics, regular season, conference champions. And now we're in the postseason. And, well, once again, we got a lot of butt hurt and unhappy people, just like always. JT, how are you tonight?
I hope I'm not in that group, but I feel like I probably am.
Well, you're definitely not a Notre Dame fan, so.
No, I am not.
Well, good to see everybody tonight. Well, folks, tonight's pretty limited topics, but we got big topics coming up with we're going to look at the actual playoff scenarios, what was set up, what the final results are, and the fallout from it. We'll take a look at the bowl games and actually maybe a few random stories along the way, touching on some of the issues. One of the things interesting, JT, and before we greet the chat, I don't know if you had a chance to read it, but there were some reports out today, and we'll have to look into this and take a really deep dive into the business side of it, that the University of Utah is looking at an outside funding group, almost like one of those finance groups, with all the big monies, that's actually going to be for profit to manage their college athletic program. It's a way to get it.
Actually, that might actually work pretty well.
Well, forget amateur nonprofits and everything else going forward if that's the way of the future. But it really sounds like, I don't know. These times are changing,
Indeed,
they're changing, not for the good in many cases. So that's something we'll have to keep our eyes on if you get a chance to start looking at it, GT. Because they're not hedge funds. You know what those groups are? The venture. It's almost like a profit,
like a venture capital.
Yeah, one of those type of things. But they're for profit, and they're going to come in supposedly and run the athletic programs. And who knows? I mean, why not? All bets are off nowadays. It's the wild west of college sports these days. Right. But anyway, well, let's say hi to the people we got in the chat. I saw some good questions that we've got already. Shall we do that? We got the great Pella Bear of Pinellas County, who is here, but he's already gone to bed. Yes. Hopefully he watches it on replay, but good to see Snort come. Always faithful, comes through, says hi, at least hits that like button, and we appreciate you, Snort. Thank you for being here. Legatus, Legionize, how are you tonight? Good to see you tonight. Hopefully you're doing well. Yes, we will talk about this in due time. We will definitely talk about this issue in our topics tonight. I'm going to start just in case we come back to it. Buddy Hepburn, we're going to talk about that too. 10 teams declined bowl invitations this year, and we're going to talk about that a little bit when we get to that point. Fallout Dave, hey Dave, how are you tonight? Good to see you as always. Hopefully you're doing well. And so, Dave, like Dave said, bowl games are meaningless, and with payers being played, they have more reasons not to do bowl games, risk injuries to paychecks. There's a lot of talk with that. There's more than just the paychecks game, and we're going to talk about that. There are some serious challenges in college sports having to deal with the calendars and things like that. So we'll talk about that hopefully as the time goes through. It's not just snowing, it's hailing in Michigan with JT Kirk. How are you?
Yeah, it's a wintry mix, and it's a month and a half too early for this.
Oh, wow.
We've been
really?
getting single digit temps in the evenings, and we're supposed to be around 40 at that time. So we're a good 30 degrees colder than we should be. And it's still fall. It's still fall here.
I thought it was winter, but basically whatever snow will fall will stick then.
Winter doesn't start until the winter solstice, which is like December 22 or 23, something around there.
Yeah. There you go for a white Christmas. Well, it's awfully cold, I will say.
It is indeed.
Just don't let everything freeze up. Good luck with you and good luck snow shoveling. So,
yeah,
and Buddy,
I already did that once today.
Buddy, also seniors and others not want to play in case they get hurt before the draft. That one they comment, Matt Corral for Ole Miss a few years ago did that. He got hurt in a bowl game too. Pretty significant injury, but I don't think it hurt his NFL career. It kind of hurt with the draft, but he Still, he was not good enough for the NFL. But yes, that is always a concern, buddy. Good to see you too. Yeah, this is another reason I'm going to star that. There's a lot of issues here with this goes into this now. And hello, our Auburn fans, small time Republic. Good to see you. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully
War Eagle. There you go.
War Damn Eagle.
Yeah.
War Damn Eagle. Or Damn War Eagle. One of the but yes, and Chewy's here. Hey Chewy, good to see you too. Yes, and we will definitely get to that. I hope you're doing well tonight. We got several comments already started off here. So we'll take a look at these as we get into them. I'm still starring. So JT, have you had a chance to digest the playoff brackets? I'm about to show them.
I do. There are two changes I would make.
Okay.
To make things more interesting, more competitive, and a little bit fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Well, let's get into it right now. Let's take a look at the 12 teams there. We'll take a look at by bracket in here. So, folks, and I've got some of your comments already started, and we will come back to them in the course of our discussion. Well, let's take a look. Well, one of the conference champions that got in was James Madison. They got in. Questions about strength of schedule and everything, but considering that they were a conference champion, they will go on the road to Eugene to play the Ducks. Okay, I got to start this off. And yeah, what the hell happened to the ACC? Duke, 5-loss Duke wins the conference championship, knocks out Virginia. And see, that's where I'm going to have some comments when we get to Miami, because I when we get into this, and I'm really annoyed with certain things, but we'll talk about who got in first. James Madison goes to Oregon. I am actually intrigued for this matchup because I want to see James Madison play one of the big guys and knock them off. The only problem is James Madison now I can't stand. I can take a dump on him. You know why?
Why is that?
Shift.
Oh,
that
no,
son of a bitch.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Yep. He's the new head coach next year. I'm just like, and that's the dad man rant right now. These schools need to start putting these things in their contracts. If they fire these coaches and if they get another job within a year, 22 years, they minimize that buyout. There's no way that son of a gun should get $20-something million for his incompetence and for poor performance, walking away and yet get a job right immediately. I'm sorry.
I think, if you have a losing season, it should have your payout, something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Dave. God, Dave. No, not James Madison. Hell, Tim, how are you doing? Good to see you. But yeah, it's just but now granted, it's a contract law. Okay. He's owed the money, but these schools need to start protecting themselves. From that standpoint, if you get a job within, the whole point about the buyout is to protect yourself. If you get like Brian Smelly in this case,
yep.
You get ruined, you get libeled, or you get, you can't get a situation where nobody wants to hire you afterwards, and that's the reason why you have buyouts and stuff like that. And sometimes big buyouts, but this case where somebody, you got to write your contracts better. I mean, in some cases, there are no compete clauses in local media and other things. I just still think you could, I don't know. To me, it's one of those things that I don't know. It did not set well with me. Yes, exactly, Fallout Dave. But I don't know you're shocked by that, aren't you? Why would anybody hire this guy? After what he did at Florida, but.
Hey.
Huh?
I said, hey, whatever. I wish him the best.
I know. I'm just traumatic. But anyway, I will still cheer for James Madison against the Ducks. Hopefully they beat them. But this is a good one to see what will happen. All the pitch for the group of 5 conferences, the other non-Power 4 conferences, and everybody else to get their conference champions in. And of course, as we found out, James Madison and Tulane, who also made it, were higher ranked than the two Blue Devils who won the conference championship. So they got in, Duke didn't, and we'll see what happened with the ACC. But first round, James Madison goes on the road to Oregon. They will be slated to play in the Capital One Orange Bowl New Year's Day against Texas Tech with the noon kickoff. Wow. Imagine Orange Bowl at noon. Orange Bowl was always the 8 o'clock late game, you know?
Yeah.
The electric light parades and the Orange Bowl shows. So, well, that goes one quarter of our bracket.
But they're finally doing what I said they should have done all along. Is just start making these playoff games in the bowl locations. So then you make the bowl people happy and you still get your playoff. I don't know why this was so difficult for them to take, a decade to put this in place.
Yeah, they did, but we'll talk about the bowl structures because the first rounds are still on campus sites, though, not in bowl games, because what we have is a threat against the future of the bowl system. And there's been lots of talk about that these days.
There's too many bowls anyway, so
we know that too.
Need to be pared down.
So, what do you think so far? Looking at we'll go. Let me go through the rest of the matchups. We'll
go region by region.
We got Alabama and Oklahoma.
That's fine. Oregon. Yep. I think Oregon is actually going to be kind of scary here because there's no way they'll lose to James Madison. It just won't happen. Oregon's a real sleeper team in this playoff, and I don't think they've gotten the respect that they probably should have at this point.
I know a lot of people question their strength of schedule, though, so we'll see. Yeah,
the Orange Bowl, I think, should be a great game between those two teams.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
I like to see it because it's not like the other first weeks. We have the next region.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I look at Texas Tech as a team of destiny. Watching BYU play a lot this year and watching how Texas Tech just dismantled them, that Texas Tech defense is just, man, that I don't think Oregon scored 14 points on Texas Tech with that defense. I've been really impressed watching Texas Tech in the limited time that I've been able to see them this year. It's been a long time to see a defense that good. In the next region, we got Alabama and Oklahoma, 8th and 9th ranked. So Alabama has to go on the road to Oklahoma this week. All right. December 19th. Yay. Hey, at least Bama didn't get the home game. And they get the right to play Indiana.
These mid-ranked SEC teams need to go. And I don't know if it's maybe the right time for me to complain about this or not. They absolutely need to go. I don't think Alabama should. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll hold off. We'll get off. Because I'm ready to fire on that one. But how do you think with Indiana? Indiana knocked off Ohio State, the Ohio State University. So, how about that? Were you stunned watching that?
No, I wasn't stunned.
No.
But you've always underrated Indiana this whole season, even when it was impossible to ignore. You've not been willing to take the plunge on them.
No, so I still don't trust them.
I think I saw it from a different angle. Now, are they absolutely going to choke? I think they choke against that an SEC team in the Rose Bowl.
I agree with you right there. Yeah. But hey, congratulations to them. They got this far. They beat the Ohio State, and they got the top seed overall. We never thought that would happen.
Their recruiting is going to be so much easier for the next 3 years.
Get people to Bloomington, Indiana. You got to have a dog and pony show for sure.
Well, they're South Indiana. They're very South Indiana. They're basically almost Kentucky or Missouri. So they have much.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Speaking of the dog and pony show, Ole Miss is at it again. They are still somehow alive, even with the Lane train gone to LSU, who are now sending half their offensive coaching staff back. I kind of got to think about that today. Ole Miss with their rampage against Kiffin, and I get it, and I understand it, but I tell those offensive assistants to pound sand too. We'll do the best we can in the bowl game, because I mean, why bring them back? Why bring them back now? I mean, they're tied to Kiffin. They chose to leave with Kiffin, so don't start this moral outrage that you're not Ole Miss and all this stuff when they chose to leave with them. So, of course, they had to be on the plane. Remember that? So, yeah. I like what Small Time says here. Georgia should have been the number 1 seed. We're coming in. This matchup plays the winner, plays Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, and I actually agree with this. But then again, it could be the SEC homer. But then again, part of what I say Georgia over Ohio State is because Georgia has played a tougher schedule. We know how weak the Big Ten schedule has been for Ohio State.
What's the real difference between 1, 2, 3, and 4?
At this point, nothing. Yeah, at this point, there's really not.
I get
it's a color of your uniform.
I think. Saying. I also just don't. Yeah. I like that game last week. I'm like, oh, so Indiana and Ohio State are still going to be 1 and 2. They're just going to shuffle that. Yep. So what's the real difference? I mean, you get to play an 8 and 9 versus a 10 and 7.
Yep. But at this point, you're on a neutral field, though. You're on a neutral site and everything else. I'm interested with this Tulane Ole Miss because John Summerall, the new Gator coach, is still coaching in this, and it will be interesting in a rematch game between these two teams and see if Tulane will, how much fight they have against Ole Miss.
We'll get to that.
Hey, Das Wolfen. Hey, good to see you too.
We'll get to that in my belly aching complaints section. We will definitely get to that.
Well, good to see you. Hey, Das Wolfen, glad to have you with us tonight. Nice to see you there. So, and of course, we've round up the last 3 teams. Miami is going on the road to play in College Station at Kyle Field against Texas A&M, and then the winner plays Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl class.
Sir, I have to stop you.
Okay.
Ohio State.
Well, they lost the right to the.
In case Deeple's listening.
Well, I'm sorry. They lost the right to use the by losing to Indiana. But, this is when we can get into what we think. I need to catch back to the start. We got 11 stars. So I'm going to start it off with here, and then we're going to catch up through the stars. But the one change that I make here, I understand Tulane, and I understand James Madison because of the theory of the ranked conference champion. Vanderbilt instead of Miami, and screw the ACC. You know what, ACC? Get good.
Yep.
Quit having
that was one of mine.
Quit having bullcrap conferences where like SMU went last year, who was not up at that level. Clemson couldn't fight Texas last year. Miami does not deserve going. Period. Vanderbilt is a better team than Miami. Stronger schedule. Look at the Miami losses. I do want to look at. I want to look at.
They're on my list. I've got them
pulled up. Pull up the Miami schedule real quick, and let's see who they lost to this year.
So they lost to an unranked Louisville and an unranked SMU.
So
They also only played a fraudulently ranked Florida State that was 18th.
Right.
A fraudulently ranked South Florida who was 18th. They beat a 0-2 Notre Dame, I think at that point, or an 0-1 Notre Dame, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they beat Pitt, who was 22nd. I know.
Wow. I mean, just like, and you know what? The heck with the ACC. That's why they had the automatic bid before, but they changed the system. Guess what, ACC? You don't deserve anybody. Notre Dame got left out. You deserve to get left out when your teams lose to garbage. That's the one. Look, I was a fan of BYU. I wanted to see BYU, but I can see leaving them out because of how badly they lost again to Texas Tech. They were not even on the same field with Texas Tech. I get that with BYU to justify them not being able to go, which I could say against Alabama not standing up much against Georgia. Why is Alabama in this damn group of people other than their name? But that I feel for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt will probably never be at this ever again. And I'm not saying you should do it for sympathy things, but you know what? What the hell? Miami's is a small private school in South Florida that is not what they were in the 80s and 90s. And why do you stick them in there? Why do you even placate to the ACC? ACC's so messed up. They got conferences they call them the Atlantic Coast, but they got teams in California. But losing to SMU, and Carson Beck looked horrible in those games.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to go over there. I bet they go into A&M and wet the bed against Texas A&M.
Oh, for sure. Sure.
So let you go ahead and talk to you while I go back. Folks, you keep leaving your comments. I'm going to catch it. Hey, Dots Wolf said, that's why I touch on the strength of schedule. Those losses by Miami. I mean, Vanderbilt lost to Alabama and to Texas. And Texas was I believe both games were on the road. Just saying. They get left out with only 2 losses against a team that lost to SMU in Louisville. Anyway, but yeah, Dolph, did you see this? He hates, they say,
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I had 2 big changes I wanted to make in this.
Okay.
I know you probably can't really make an argument that gets rid of James Madison and Tulane without pushing things to go way too slanted. I'm not going to say rigged or fixed. I'll say slanted. Okay. There is a difference, albeit small. What I do not want to see is Miami, and what I do not want to see is Alabama. There are too many teams from the SEC in there, and Miami did not earn it. If I look at the rankings, you have BYU and Vanderbilt with 11-2 and 10-2. Now, they both had stronger schedules and more wins on that. Maybe not a stronger schedule than Alabama, but they had more wins and they got it done. Okay. So BYU had that 1 loss at 8th ranked Texas Tech, and then they lost the conference championship again at Texas Tech. That's it. That's it. So I thought they should have been a contender in over, take 2 teams from the Big 12 instead of taking 5 teams from the SEC. You'd have better balance, better TV distribution, better fan base distribution, and you would give the appearance of letting in a team that's earned something because they have. I really thought BYU should have been in. I expected them in, but then, Alabama and Miami got the sneak in. Okay. The other big issue I have is Vanderbilt should have been in. If you look at the SEC standings, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 6th in that. But they also have just as many wins in the conference as the Longhorns and the Sooners. Okay. So outside of that, they have more wins than Texas. You have, it's just frustrating, right? I know Alabama played a really tough schedule this year. I just don't want them in. Don't want them in. They've already played Oklahoma this year. They lost to Georgia already. It just there's nothing new and exciting about that.
And I've seen Oklahoma play.
Yeah,
I've seen Oklahoma play. Oklahoma's ugly to watch. I mean, at least Alabama could generate some offense and some points, but Oklahoma's like watching paint dry almost. They're really carried by their defense, and one of these 2 should be in, the other should be out. Honestly.
Yeah, at least one, if not both.
And if you want to have the 5 SEC teams, if you want to have 5 SEC teams, one of these leave, you put Vanderbilt in. You know, that's the way I see it. All right, so
that was my big complaint. I did have some celebratory stuff. I don't know if you want to talk about that now.
Well, let's get caught up on we're so far behind. I got 14 star chats. Legatus, I am going to come back when we talk about the actual bowl games. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And Buddy had said, players are already announced they play. And we'll talk about that too, because timing of these bowl games and the academic schedule is what's playing heck with all this stuff too, with the coaching changes and things. But we'll hold that for when we talk about that part with the bowl games. Chewy said, I did like the reveal, except Bama getting in over Notre Dame. Had a bad feeling with the Duke winning the ACC over Virginia. The 2 group of 5s were getting in, which they did happen. One could say the Tide had impressive wins, and I won't take that away, but I don't feel like they dominated as in years past under Saban and his players back when. I think very good, valid criticisms, very good points made there about this Alabama team. They played well enough to win, but not the Bama teams of old, you would say.
No, never mind. Keep going.
Okay.
I have another thing.
Yeah, Small Time said possible solution for non-playoff bowl games. Had the matchups predetermined and play them throughout the season. Non-playoff bowl games. Well, they kind of do with where they slot conference seedings into the various bowl games. Like I know the Gator Bowl has an SEC ACC matchup with Notre Dame as a backup. So I'm curious more about how that would work. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, it's I went from a big box of starred comments. Now they I have a very little screen now on it. So Chewy said, I did see LSU gets to go bowling, but it'll be up against Houston. The way the offense has been going through the regular season, there's a little hope the offense will get better, but it's going to wait till all season begins. The good news, they play on a Saturday. Yeah, there you go. I always look at the bright side, although I don't know if I'd pay to go see a bowl game these days. So,
TV at the most.
Yeah. And Small Time said the conference are too big to determine who should be in the conference title games. It's broken. Yeah, they are 18 teams. You got 4 teams tied with 1 loss, and they're down to all these dang tiebreakers. It's and like Lane Kiffin said a while back, a couple years ago, the whole point is why bother winning your conference, just your goal is to get in the playoffs. Look what happened to Georgia last year. Carson Beck got hurt at the end of the first half again in the SEC championship game. Gunnar Stockton took over from there.
Yeah.
You do have that risk. That's a valid concern in the conference championship game. So Tim said, take Alabama and put Notre Dame. Take Alabama out and put Notre Dame in. I don't know that JT would like that.
No, we're not doing that.
Duke wins in overtime, hence where the second group of 5 got in, and AC really needs to change how they format who gets in when a team does not face said team head-to-head. Duke nor Miami face each other, which somewhat hurt the Hurricanes. Also, SMU should have won against Cal, but did not happen. But still, I look at the quality of the ACC is not – they're not. They're like be a step above the power of the group of 5 schools. See, I tell you what, I think Tulane or James Madison could take out any of these ACC teams.
Oh yeah, and they totally watered down the brand of the conference anyway by adding all these other schools that have nothing to do with them.
And that gets to Small Town Republic's point about having so many teams in one conference. It just, you're going to have this happen. See, I love it. See, I personally think that if they wanted to do it, it should have been the old way and put 5-loss Duke in there, kind of like March Madness. Nobody complains when March Madness, a little 16 to 15 seed at like 12 and 17 gets in,
right?
And then they cause havoc. But, that's why I love college basketball. So, Chewy said it's not just too many bowl games. Certain ones do not have much value. If there is expansion, it may strengthen to what extent, I would not know for sure, but the team declining is a raise for concern. Some teams are doing it for valid reasons, like Iowa State, Kansas State, because coaches are going for new jobs. I'm going to keep this started because I do want to come back to this one. Das Wolfen, yes, well, we talked about strength of schedule there, obviously, with that. Small Town Republic said, had Notre Dame been in the ACC, they would have had a shot at making the playoffs. They made their bed. Exactly. Yep. If they were in the ACC, I bet they would have been. They would have been instead of Miami. I bet you.
Which they should do because they can't join the Big Ten. They would never make it if they played that level.
Oh man, would the Big Ten ever want them in?
There was a time they tried to get them in for many years, and it would have helped capture a huge TV audience, which is the only reason you want Notre Dame in your conference anyway. And it would have been another Midwest team, just down the road from less than 3 hours from 6 other schools in the conference, it would have made sense, right? That's where they should live. For basketball, maybe the ACC would have been a better fit. Some of the other sports, like lacrosse and whatnot, might have been a better fit for like the ACC. But or at least for football, they would have made a ton of sense in the Big Ten before the Big Ten expanded.
Well, who knows? It's too late, gone bye-bye. But it's it's all changed. And I'm missing
now it's like why would you bother when you have USC and Oregon brought in?
Well, see, I saw a shot taken at Notre Dame about that's why they quit scheduling Michigan every year, because the last time they played, Michigan beat the crap out of them.
Yeah. You know? Oh, yeah.
And by the way, I do want to talk about Notre Dame specifically a bit. Notre Dame are crybabies, refused to play in a bowl because they didn't make playoffs. Okay, let's stop for just a second and talk about this, because let's see. Their athletic director came out and said that they went on a massive 10-game onslaught, and they deserve to go in there.
A 10-game onslaught.
Yeah, or onslaught, or that he used a word like they went out and conquered the world. Big, impressive 10-game win streak.
We won't take the word onslaught at face value from the athletic director, Dadman, if I may.
Let me find.
I'll give you the 10-game onslaught. Okay. To start off this onslaught, Purdue, who they gave let score 30 points on them. The next onslaught team, Arkansas. The next onslaught team, Boise State. The next one, NC State. Then they finally beat a ranked team more than halfway through their season. Close game against USC at home. Okay, that's actually their signature win, is a 20th ranked USC. Then they continue the onslaught, quote unquote, unranked Boston College. Then oh boy, here we go, unranked Navy. Then you have a 22 ranked Pitt.
Oh, wait a second. He said impressive 10-game winning streak, a run he called dominant. Just wanted to get it clear with the words he used.
Well, next they played Syracuse High School, and then they ended the year at Stanford.
Yeah, you remember that Syracuse High School was 21-0 before they even ran a play from the line of scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
Golly,
Syracuse would lose to a MAC team.
Yeah, so that's where I think with them they don't have a case, you know. I mean, I know the Hepburns love their Notre Dame, and I'd be frustrated if I was Notre Dame. I'm not going to say that. I would be mad if I was a Notre Dame fan. I mean, you still go only 2 losses. You can only play the schedule that you're given, you know.
They get their own schedule. This is a schedule they designed. It's not like Purdue has been a powerhouse the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
they sure as heck have not. If I may here. On this, I'm trying to share out my screen.
Okay, you ready for me to share it?
Yep. Okay, so for this, here I'll make it larger. Here's my case to be made to fix a lot of the issues. Get rid of the first round bye week. It makes the rankings a little bit more important in my mind.
So you're saying a 16-team playoff?
16-team playoff. Okay. You have it exactly right. So you've got your 2 teams down here that you let in. But the cutoff was right here at number 10, Miami. So if you get another 4 teams, you get BYU, you get Texas, who might have an argument. It's not a very good one, but they're 9-3, just like Alabama. You get Vanderbilt, and then you get Utah or USC. You get one of these 2. Now, I think it was Small Timer Dust Wolfen said there's a case to be made. Someone in chat said there's a case to be made for Utah.
Yeah,
I think so as well. But see, then you don't really increase the number of weeks in the tournament, and you get rid of the first round bye, and then you just cap it off at 16. You don't go to 32. You don't do any of this other stuff. But
some of the talk I've heard is even up to 24. Because I mean, and Buddy's right. You know, if you at some point it has to stop, because at some point then you need to just pick, like you said in this case, 24 teams have them play each other, and that doesn't matter who has soft schedules or whatever else. And I think if you do this, then you need to get rid of all the bowls. Just make it a true playoff system, like they do in the FCS level. You know, and that's one of the problems. And we'll talk about the bowls again and why they're outdated. I mean, because Buddy is right. There is a point, is we can only schedule RU so much, you know. I mean, because at what point, it's like this typical thing with college basketball. This person always claims that they got this, you know, that they should, everybody gets left out, and you do have to cut it off at some point. But,
so, here,
but I like what Buddy said. They already know who they want at the end for the playoff teams anyways. I do believe that's right, because a lot of people have criticized the committee for not having a standard, like a standard that they could explain or justify. Some of their interviews have been all over the place and not making sense when they've been pressed on questions.
Yeah. So, I mean, get to 16, and I think you have an argument USC or Utah in on here. So you,
by the way, hi, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Right. Sam's here. Good to see you. And Sashi also. I see Sashi. Sorry. All right, JT.
You would have gotten your 11 and 2s and your 10 and 2s in here, and it would have been completely fair for those four. And maybe USC versus Utah battle an argument there. Then you get all your 16 in. Notre Dame still doesn't get in because of their bad schedule. You know, and they're not in a conference.
Yeah.
They need to be. So to that, I did have other things here about the Notre Dame thing. If you
let me get a couple more of these comments in real quick, and then we'll stay on
I'll ready it up.
And we're not going to bash Notre Dame all night. They've I mean, like I said, you play who you play, and you win, and you play those games. That's the main thing. Small Time said ESPN subcontracted the 2 worst games to TNT. Disney is evil. And
it's true.
Chewy said it's not too many bowl games, but certain ones do not have much value if there is expansion. It may strengthen to an extent. I do not know for sure, but the teams declining is a raise for concern. Some teams are doing it for valid reason. Okay, I think I hit this one earlier, but this is we'll come back to that one again, because we talk about the bowl where they turned down. By the way, Tides can say that we had some players hurt that either could not play the past weekend or had players not 100% still played. See, most of that game they played just as bad as the first game against FSU. Lost still sinks. See, that's that evaluation of how they did in the championship game. BYU got held out. They didn't perform well in their championship game, so why not Alabama? Why not hold it against Alabama for not showing up? I mean, it's their third loss at least. Why, and yet we're going to keep Notre Dame fans, we're going to keep a 2-loss Notre Dame team out, whether you like the schedule or not. So Alabama with 3 losses comes in. Or, hey, Vanderbilt, who lost a close game to Alabama and to Texas. It
wasn't one of those losses the third loss in the championship game.
Yeah, but see, BYU's second losses in the championship game. It was a bad loss, but I mean, there is some thought that the talk is that they don't punish teams for losing in their conference championship games. Tell that to BYU. They got punished for losing in their championship game.
Right.
So
now with Alabama though, and you know how much I don't like them. They did lose to FSU, and they had a 2-point loss to an 11th ranked Oklahoma. Right. So that one of those 2 losses was very close. They did also beat number 5 Georgia, number 16 Vanderbilt, number 14 Mizzou, and an 11 Tennessee. So do they necessarily? I mean, they don't do it for me in terms of watchability or like excitement, but they did beat 4 ranked teams and a close loss to a 5th. So, they're going to get in with that over a couple of these other teams, because that just gave the committee enough of a reason to put them in.
Right.
Is it fair to BYU or Vanderbilt? No, but they beat Vanderbilt. So if you're looking at who's going to be in that number 9 spot out of those 2 teams, well, Alabama beat them, so I guess they get to go in. right? Their records are quote unquote close enough, and they have the win, so they're going in. And that's just how it is. Even though I don't want to watch that game, I know you don't want to watch that game.
Well, like Chewy said, that both Alabama and Oklahoma are hard watches right now.
Yeah,
I mean they Oklahoma especially, the Alabama's one dimensional, and because they can't run, and the Sooners just. Mateer's apparently struggling still. At one point, it looked like he was getting hot, but they have to rely on the run game, which is not exciting at all to watch. But it's just still, I liked seeing Tulane. I liked seeing James Madison in, but I would have liked to seen Vanderbilt and BYU in. Yeah. Why do we have to have the retreads of Oklahoma and Alabama or even Miami? I mean, they're all teams that had chance. The one I still do not feel at all any sympathy for are the Canes. I hate them as a Florida fan anyway, but seriously, you lose to SMU and you lose to Louisville.
Yeah, hot garbage.
I mean, really. At least Notre Dame lost to Texas A&M and to Miami, two teams that are ranked high. Miami, I don't know. I don't like Miami, but the thing is,
they're third. They're the only ones going in, and they're third in their conference.
What bothers me also is the fact that the Big 12 is a good conference, and I only got one team in. See, I don't care about the ACC. ACC's hot garbage. I don't feel sorry for them, but the Big 12, they deserved at least two teams, possibly three. Utah, BYU. Those are good teams. But they're not going to get called in.
Virginia really got screwed.
Well, Virginia's Virginia, though. Virginia, they finished first, but they had the chance to win. They could have beaten Duke. They're a victim of their own conference.
So then you take who next? SMU?
Oh no, dear God, nobody out of the ACC. So
you skipped a third rank in the ACC.
Yeah,
that's.
No, well, Duke. No,
fair.
the whole point is
really not fair.
The whole point is the ACC should get nobody in. I mean, Miami should have been by all rights in the championship game themselves had they not lost to teams like SMU or especially Louisville. Yeah. I know they're not slouches, but still, the point is of Miami Hurricanes coming in with their swagger and stuff. Those are games they should not lose.
Chewy, hot take.
Hey,
I think Michigan could beat Miami right now.
The Ohio State University. I will say it for this great guy, Deeple. Hey, look, that's the story of my streaming career, and even the misses, the notifications don't go out. That's why I tweet all day and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And so I do think Michigan could beat Miami right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and
they are not a great football team. They're a pretty good football team. They're not a great football team. But if you take the top third of the Big Ten, you would just lay out Miami. Not even close.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, you still hate kickers? Yes. Yeah. Did you see that missed field goal for Ohio State?
I did.
Oh my God, I could have kicked you, and I could have kicked that better.
Kidding me?
Do you remember who Pete Banaszak is?
No.
Guys out there, I'm sure Small Town Republic, probably Chewy. He's older than me. He was an old Oakland Raider.
Yeah.
Old Oakland Raiders, 70s. I mean, he was a post-game analyst, talking head for the Jaguars early in their franchise. He despised kickers. Mm-hmm. He hated them. Every time, the kickers meant he'd be all on them. His thing was, you got one job to go out there and kick the damn ball. He did not like kickers. Although he did comment one of the place kickers one time, because the guy actually made all of his field goals and actually would get physical. He actually got his respect, but damn,
I think a lot of way to fix a lot of the mental game on this is do two things when you're not kicking. One, it's you should have experience soloing on an instrument or being in a play or a musical where you're on stage and it's just you and you have to, rubber meets the road. The other thing they should play is golf.
Yeah.
those two things will fix any of this mental game you might have. And a lot of times it is that. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you're kicking 50 yards down and the wind takes it. Nothing you can do on that, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, there's nothing you can do about that.
You
aim your best, kick it, and sometimes you won't with a big gust of wind that wasn't there 10 seconds ago. But
I saw a video. I need to do a stream one time where I just show old highlights and clips and stuff off on Cosme Room so we don't get in trouble with YouTube. Because I saw recently in the Egg Bowl, where I think it was a Mississippi State kicker, he kicked the ball. It was so windy there. He kicked the ball and it was going high and it stopped before the goalpost and came back down.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about that. All they can really do is just ask you to kick the ball from where it is. And sometimes it's going to come down before you want it to.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up on here on this topic. I think we
do have some
let me let you finish
that I
did. Let me let you do that, and then we'll wrap up because I know you got one more little ode to Notre Dame. Then let's get into the regular bowl games. But Chewy said also Michigan had a chance to beat the Sooners. Had that occurred, Michigan might have had some outside shot, but it could have helped.
If they did, they would have had a better shot at going to the Big Ten championship game, even if they lost to Ohio State. It would have made things more complicated. They would have definitely helped their case.
Well, we've discussed to a degree a lot, but we still have more about that. So, we're going to talk more about that as we talk about the 10 teams that have declined bowl games. So, because, we'll see how that goes. Okay, JT, what else do you have on this topic?
I did some investigative reporting about the Notre Dame issue, and I did put that report up if you want to share out the screen.
Oh, this one. Okay, folks, this is breaking news from JT Kirk.
So here we have your Notre Dame fan, just taking a look at the playoffs, and here you can clearly see James Madison and Tulane out there overjoyed. They are ready. They are ready.
I'm ready.
Notre Dame,
I'm ready.
The Notre Dame band will be stuck at home playing their clarinets.
But I do. For a lot of their fans, I feel sorry for the fans, because it was a good year. They only lost 2 games, but I'd hate to be in their situation, but I know.
I guess it's back to the Krusty Krab for them. Huh?
Back to the Krusty Krab. All right. Thank you for that.
So here from the locker room, we saw that this is what the latest sign is up in South Bend in the practice facility right here.
Your Gatorade is still tasty, buddy says. Yes, buddy.
So there we go. Out like a chump today. That's this is the latest, undercover reporting we have. So I do have more.
Okay.
We kept it going. This is live in the streets of New York City and downtown Manhattan. It looks like the playoff selection committee was originally interested in Notre Dame and now saw the University of Miami.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
There's a lot of tough questions to be asked, but sometimes, a picture says it all.
Yeah, it does.
So, let's see here. What else? Oh, yeah. So some people were saying that Pitt was a really good reason that Notre Dame should have been in. I wanted to make sure this person on X looked like they were doing the math right, but it's hard to see here. So here we have Miami at 38-7 with Pitt. While Notre Dame scored less points and gave more up. So there you have it. There's math involved. Dadman, I think you're more the math guy than me. Miami did a better job, right?
Yeah, they did. But tell you, I did see more of the Notre Dame Pitt game. That score, I think, is a little deceiving. I think Pitt really, game day went there, all this other stuff, and Notre Dame just blew the crap out of them at the beginning. Notre Dame just butt stomped them, and I think they kind of called it off. But it's still it's points.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else. I do have a little bit more here. This is the newest logo that's going around South Bend. All your official merch will now You can get it with this. It's very popular.
Oh, JT, just imagine the day your Michigan State Spartans ever get good again. We will have plenty of people coming back.
Time than to think about that.
What, hell will freeze over? I guess y'all are about to freeze over this week. So
yeah, it already has. And then here we go. Here's one for you, Dad, man.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're a big Dallas fan, right?
Yes,
big
thank
Cowboys
you. Yeah.
Guy. So we're doing some math here, some little Kamala Harris Venn diagramming and other charts and numbers. And what we found was they're both iconic brands.
Okay.
Bandwagon fan base, check.
Okay.
Check. Stuck in the 1900s.
Yes.
Yes. Check.
As a Cowboy
can't
fan,
win the big game. Yes,
Dak Prescott. Check. Exactly. Yes.
I saw that Lions game the other day with all the gifts.
Imagine if they'd won that game. Imagine if their defense showed up and they won that game. They would be right on the tail of the Eagles,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Once again, they can't. Anyway, but yeah.
And then the finals, no conference championships this century.
By the way, it was nice having JT Kirk. Buddy, I'm in solidarity with you for Notre Dame. Sorry, JT, I just had to do that.
So
but I can't argue. But as a Cowboy fan,
win
as a Cowboy fan, I can't argue with that because it's all true. As a Cowboy fan, it's all true. It's just
so this took a lot of science and AI, but we were able to finally come up with something good here. All right, absolutely. And so then the final, the coup de grace, as they say in French. This is Notre Dame's schedule for next year, where we'll repeat this entire conversation all over again, where they play a middling at best Big Ten team. Then they play the football powerhouses of Rice, Michigan State, Purdue, North Carolina, Navy, Boston College, which will hurt their schedule playing all those teams.
Right.
And then they'll play Miami and probably lose again. Then they'll play SMU and probably lose again. Syracuse will probably be another 70-point game. Stanford, no.
Ending the season at Southern Cal.
Which will be their signature game, probably. Either that or Miami again. So,
well, Miami will be replacing the quarterback too next year. That Miami team will be too.
But tell me what there's. Why should they even be in the playoffs again next year?
Well, the thing is though, you still have to. I mean, whatever the schedule, it's like BYU in '84. They won the national title no matter what because they beat everybody on their schedule.
Point to me on the doll where the SEC team is.
Well, they're not.
Where's Michigan? Where's Ohio State? Where's Oregon?
Well, see, one of the biggest problems I've had with Notre Dame for many, many years is the fact they got rid of a lot of those natural rivalries.
Yeah,
they used to play Michigan State. They used to play Michigan,
Yes.
And I mean, even a bad Michigan State team still is a legitimate team. And
they'll play them next year, not because it's a rivalry anymore. That team's going to be bad. Abysmal game last year, followed up. I mean, these are the bottom two teams in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you pick.
but my biggest problem, Notre Dame could stay independent. I don't blame them with that. They can make more money, but they should bring back those natural rivalries, like with Michigan State, some of those others in the Midwest that they used to have years ago. I mean, they still have a USC, fortunately, and I think that Notre Dame could stay independent. They just need to get. You got to give them credit too, though. They did have Texas A&M, they did have Miami, but they played them right off the beginning at the season, And I think an independent schedule could be done right. But even BYU acknowledged, and they joined the Big 12. They joined a really good conference to get around these issues. But see, then again,
where's your SEC team on here?
Yeah, well, I don't think you have to have an SEC team. They could play some good. Pick Ohio State. Pick even Indiana. Pick one of the couple of the upper range Big 10 teams. Pick somebody out of the Big 12 if you want to. And that's always a question: is how many? We see this with all the teams. They beat people early in the year, and then are they ranked at the end of the season? You never know. So.
Well, you make your bed, you lie in it. I think that was the quote from earlier. Deeple's asking how many of these teams are going to be top 25 at the end of the season. I picked 2. You're going to get one of these Big Ten teams, either USC and Wisconsin, and then Miami. And that's because Miami's going to get help.
Wisconsin. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh.
And they're playing that game in Green Bay. Don't you know?
Oh, wow. There you go. Hey, there you go.
I think the Wisconsin Stadium's probably a better venue, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, well.
We need like Lisa in here to answer that for us.
Exactly.
But, anyway, so that was my investigative reporting about the Notre Dame situation. So look for the repeat. In fact, I'm just going to rewind the tape deck I've been recording this on, and we're going to play it again next year. Okay.
There you go. That works. Well, folks, we're going to go move into if y'all still have comments about the playoffs, go ahead, shoot them in there. In the remaining time we'll take a look at the bowl season. I'm going to bring the, let's see what Buddy said. This is the main deal with the FCP. Top 12 to 18 from whatever prior year should have the schedule dictated by the playoffs from the prior year. I like that. I like this, a good idea. I mean, the problem is all these schools have set their schedules based on the conference parameters, all of those stuff, but still, this is the way you'd want to do it. If you make the playoffs this year, you should be forced to play better teams and have it out of your control. But we know that that's not the way they'll do it.
They need to redo the conferences and then create divisions and just make it the NFL.
Yeah.
And then you have rules around who you have to play and all this other stuff. And then you don't see, the problem is the schools set their own schedules right now and not the league. The league should be setting these schedules, not the teams.
Honestly, and I heard the bowl director here at the Gator Bowl many years ago, at least 10, 15 years ago, he was saying, as when we started with BCS and all this stuff, he said the bowl system's dying. He said it's all becoming irrelevant, and it is proven true, and it has happened. Because at this point, nobody cares about the bowl games except for we're seeing it with 5 and 7 teams not taking bowl games. But we'll talk about some of the reasons why they're not. But it's you're almost better to say, hey, we're going to take 32 teams, put them in. Well, that'd be a lot. But what's an NFL 6? 3, you could only have 4 weeks. You're stuck with a 16-team playoff at most, to be able to get the season over with. 20 or 24 at most, but and then let everybody play it out. But anyway, well, let's take a look at what the bowl game.
And I'm looking at a lot of these bowl games.
Yep.
No one has ever cared, nor will they ever care about the one in Detroit.
Yep.
The Bahamas one won't be held this year.
Yeah.
But nobody ever cared about that one either. Why are there like 15 of them in Florida or some outrageous number?
Yeah, because it's snowing up there, JT. It's snowing up there. That's why they don't have.
There's only 8, but still.
Yeah.
Why do we need 8 there?
Sam says because of our playoff wins in the 80s, BYU is never going to make playoff again unless we have perfect season. A little nothing college make it that far, tick people off. I agree. I will tell you, because I remember 84 that season. The whole country hated BYU. And I will say I was part of it, because the frustrating thing with that BYU 84 team, they won every game, but they didn't play tough competition. And all that they had to do to win a national title was beat a 6-5 Michigan team, which was not hard. And you kind of want your national title champion to be better than that. But but then again, like I said, as a BYU fan, I understand why you feel that way. I agree. I think BYU got hosed this year. I think they got hosed because of a lot of off the field crap, and some other things that are out there. The fact that the Big 12 only had one team invited, whether you want to think Utah or BYU, would you pick either one of them? The Big 12 is a good conference. They deserve more than one bid.
So how do you think they fix that? Do they grow? Do they absorb the rest of the Pac-12?
No, I don't think you can. I think the problem is the voters and this committee. this committee is just very arbitrary and capricious sometimes with the determination. Maurice Davis was interviewing the chairman the other day, and he kept getting him in conflicts. I mean, he couldn't keep the story straight at times, between Notre Dame and Miami and who should go in. And it's the problem when you have humans involved in this element of doing stuff like this. Computers were supposed to give strength of schedule and everything and solve all this problem, but it really hasn't. Even when they do try to involve that. But I really feel bad for this BYU team. Now, like I said, they lost badly against Texas Tech, even on a neutral site. They kind of played their way out of it because it gave the committee and others the reason to hold that against them. But I do think BYU is one of those schools that's had to fight a lot of bias this year and respect nationally. And a lot of teams do with perceived, just for other reasons, and it makes it harder for them to have to overcome these hurdles and to get respect and to get into the playoffs nowadays. And, because I tell you, BYU is a team I would have loved to see in this because I think they could have played well. I mean, yeah, Texas Tech had their number, but I'd like to see BYU play Oklahoma or an Alabama because I remember BYU a few years ago went up to Rocky Top and kicked their butts badly, in Neyland, and I do, I am an SEC snob, that. I should be happy the SEC has 5 teams. I'm mad that Vanderbilt's not one of those 5 teams. But it's like I don't think it's good for the game. Just because I believe the SEC teams are better on a whole as a conference, it just does not seem like it's good for the game to have so many. You have almost half of the invited teams to the playoffs from one conference. It just, I mean, I hate that balance and fair and whiny stuff, like everybody gets a participation trophy, but just theoretically on some level, intellectually, you've eliminated so much of the country that has a chance to get in when you're going to take almost half the slots from one conference. Do you agree with that, or does that make sense?
It makes sense. I'd go along with that.
I mean, see, I'll say a Notre Dame deserves it more than I think an Oklahoma. I'll be honest, or a 3-loss Alabama. They do. BYU deserves it. I mean, they played the schedule. They only lost 1 in the regular season. They lost to a heck of a team that's got a big buzzsaw of the defense. Vanderbilt now in the same conference. Yeah, they lost to Alabama, but they didn't lose 3 times. I was thinking Texas was going to make it in there. I mean, theoretically, I think there should be no more than 3 teams from one conference. Just theoretically, because for the good of the game. Now, I may be wrong. People may disagree. Feel free. And I don't want it imposed as a rule because I think there are years that a conference could have that many that deserve to go. I have a problem with what's happened in the SEC that Vanderbilt, even though they lost to Alabama, is a better team than Vanderbilt, than Alabama and Oklahoma, and they got left out. But, so be it. It is what it is. All right. Well, let's talk about the bowl games and where our teams are going to end up.
Okay.
Except yours and mine, we're staying home again this year.
I know.
So. All right. Well,
money in my pocket. That's all.
I know. Well, it gets kicked off on December 13th, a Saturday. Golly, that's like a week away. The Cricket Celebration Bowl in Atlanta. We got South Carolina State and Prairie View A&M. These are 2 historically black colleges, and Prairie View A&M was one that set the records for most losses in a row in the 1980s. So, but now we've got that. We've got the bucked up LA Bowl. Boise State and Washington at SoFi Stadium, home of the Rams. That's a, God, this stinks when your season for like a big school like Washington ends on December 13th.
Right.
And I mean,
it's like finals week. I mean, I know a lot of them don't care, but
you
want to
get
an education.
The purpose of bowl games is to get towards New Year's Day. It's like, well, on Tuesday, December 16th, we got Salute to Veterans Bowl, Troy versus Jacksonville State, the Crampton Bowl, Crampton Bowl, Montgomery, Alabama. I might shoot. It's a Tuesday. Dang it! If that was a Saturday, I would tell Mrs. Let's go visit her family, and we'll go to that game in Montgomery. Just find out B from O and stuff like that. Oh, Buddy said that is exams week for him too. Yes. Yeah. See, Chewy likes his West Coast football. Boise State, Washington. This is a game. This could be fun with Boise State taking out, from the Mountain West. You'll be on. You find funny but good. Yeah. Hey, it's finally they get the exposure out there. So, this week is. Oh well, good luck, buddy. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and good luck with your finals for sure. Crampton Bowl. You want to try to look up what Crampton Bowl is? Who sponsors it?
Crampton Bowl.
Crampton Bowl. You see it down there? Crampton Bowl. Never mind. Okay, never mind. It's okay. It's a stadium name. Oh God, Crampton Bowl.
Yeah, I was like, what? It's the Salute to Veterans Bowl.
I was like, I'm going to Ralph Cramden. Is all I could think of was Honeymooners. Ralph, but that's Cramden. Oh God, sorry about that. It's the Veterans Bowl. Okay, December 17th, we got Old Dominion, South Florida, the Staff DNA Cure Bowl in Tampa. Oh no, Orlando, the Camping World Stadium. Yay! This game could be fun though, folks. If you've not seen Old Dominion has had a history of knocking off some of the Virginia teams at times. Virginia Tech. Oh, this could be a fun game between them and USF. Ladies Cramps products. Betty, maybe. You never know. But this one, see, some of these games could be really intriguing and really interesting. This game between Old Dominion and South Florida could be very interesting.
Is it though?
It could be. No, seriously, it could be.
Are you going to watch it tomorrow at 5 or in a week from tomorrow at 5 p.m.?
No, because I'm going to be barely getting home from work. That's the
I know
problem.
A lot of people are still going to be at work.
I know. It's the weird times sometimes, though. That's the biggest thing is the times. Well, we got the 68 Ventures Bowl, Louisiana and Delaware.
That's one venture too few.
Yes, that's nice. Hancock Whitney Stadium. How many damn stadiums do they have in Mobile, Alabama? Oh, never mind. Sorry, Montgomery, Mobile, M's.
Same difference to me.
I've got to read. Well, they're about an hour and a half apart.
Damn Alabama territory to me.
Yeah, but Louisville, Delaware, the Blue Hens. Remember they used to be in Division I AA. Joe Flacco, the Fighting Flaccos. So we got on the 18th, the Xbox Bowl. We got Missouri State and Arkansas State in Frisco, Texas. Yay. I had to look that up. I thought Frisco was like some weird thing, but it's a sandwich, but no, it's actually a place in Texas. It really is. So, yeah. So Chewy says that with the Mountain West getting a team knowing Boise against the Pac-12 should be interesting, but I want to see Old Dominion face off against USF for sure. Exactly. It could be a fun game. This game, not so much. Missouri State, Arkansas State. I believe the Buzz guy from the old former Tennessee coach is there. Butch Jones is coaching for Arkansas State there. Sci-Fi Mombi of Missouri State there. The Myrtle Beach Bowl, presented by Engine. Hey, you'll like this one. Kennesaw State versus Western Michigan. In Conway, South Carolina at 11 a.m. in the morning. I bet you they'll have 2,000 fans if they're lucky. It's like, well, South Carolina is nice this time of year. At least it's a Friday. you can extend your holiday weekend. Gosh,
you're not giving me okay. Myrtle Beach Bowl, okay.
Yeah.
Western. There's nobody on the 19th going down to Myrtle Beach for this game. That is not a thing.
Why not? We don't have snow.
People,
we don't have snow. People.
Myrtle Beach is not going to be warm on December 19th.
Yep. Das Wolfen is saying Missouri State will do well next in Conference USA
there are
next
no
year.
direct flights there, by the way.
No, of course not. No, Conway is like a small. That's like that. You got to go off the interstate to get to Conway.
It's a high of 50.
Yeah.
Conway, South Carolina.
I've actually
you're probably going to have to take at least one connection flight just to get into like Charleston or something.
Well, you
might as well just drive.
Exactly. Drive. When you fly to your airport, you're still going to have to take back roads to get to Conway. I'm telling you. Oh, Das Wolfen. Yeah. Well, hopefully the Bears can complete for the championship. That stinks when they had to sit out. Frisco, Texas, also the site which FCS actually plays a national title game. Not in the Ford Center, but I cannot confirm or deny the stadium, but it is the same city. Yeah. And there's also the Frisco Bowl coming up. There's another bowl game there. All right, JT. You sure you don't want to go to South Carolina? I'll meet you up there.
As much as I like South Carolina, I had a fun memories with my wife in South Carolina. We went to Myrtle Beach, then we went to Fort Sumter, which was the last major Civil War battle site east of the Mississippi. Well, I don't think there were any major ones west, really, but I'm not counting Vicksburg or cities on the river. That was the last one that I hadn't been to.
Nice.
I got a car from work. It was a big, nice white Cadillac, and I surprised her with it on spring break. I went and picked it up, and she was totally surprised about where we were going, and I drove all the way down there. Cool. And we spent like a week down there on the beach. It was a really nice time. I have a great memory of that.
That's a good place to go if you want beaches. Yeah.
Yeah, for Myrtle Beach or go play golf or anything, but going down there at 11 a.m. on a Friday. Goodness gracious. You're going to have to leave if you drive midweek.
Well, let's see. Okay, there's got to be other games on that Friday then. UHR, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. Memphis at NC State. Yay. 2:30 p.m. Yay. I think this was the game that Billy Napier got to coach last year because they somehow luckily got a bowl game. But Memphis is a team that's fallen off so much. Remember their talk where
they used to be in the playoffs.
They were being talked about for playoff berth, all this, and now they fall all the way to a December 19th bowl game. So exactly.
In Tampa.
And NC State, who knocked off Georgia Tech this year, just probably see this is a game that's good for a fan base like NC State. That they're never expecting to do much, right? But
that's his school.
No, he's UNC.
Oh, I forget about all those. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Only 2 games, and they play like 11 and 2:30. I thought there were going to be night games, but hey, Monday, December 22nd is the world famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Well, they have the CFP at 8 p.m. on that Friday. Oklahoma and Alabama. That's right. Out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. The 19th, and probably exactly because I think all those first round games on the 19th.
One on Friday, and the other 3 on Saturday.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
Noon, 3:30, 7:30.
Of course, then you don't have because NFL. There's no bowl games till Monday. At 2:00 in the afternoon. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, one of my favorites of all time. Washington State, the Cougars are at Utah State, and this game could be fun. Utah State is they're a fun little team for their level. Washington State has had some close losses this year, but expect this could be a good game. Of course, the Washington State's head coach took the job at Iowa State after their coach went to Penn State. That's another thing we've not talked about is the Penn State coaching search and what that happened to turn out. We'll have to talk about that down the road when we look back to the season that was. But You got this at Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho, December 23rd. Bush's Boca Raton Bowl. Well, now we got it was not just Boca Raton anymore. Toledo versus Louisville. Wow. Golly, Toledo, Louisville. They're kind of regional for that one in South Florida. The Flagler Credit Union Stadium, Boca Raton, Florida, at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Oh my gosh! Yes, Sam, you protected your coach. They couldn't afford him. It's good for him to stay. I don't think Sataki could go anywhere else. Honestly, he just epitomizes BYU to me. He just wouldn't fit in anywhere else. He's been there so long that it'd be like Lavelle Edwards taking a job somewhere else. Let's see. So with this, the New Orleans Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Southern Miss, folks. Southern Miss is a program that has had a major turnaround this year. If you remember last year, Marshall did not go to a bowl game because they turned, and this goes to Legatus' question, sometimes why schools turn down bowl games, they don't have players and coaches. Last year, Marshall, their head coach, took the job at Southern Miss. Well, half the team left with them. All the quarterbacks got in the transfer portal. And all that ran together. Of course, what we're talking about timing. Folks, all the timing with these transfers and stuff depend on the academic calendar. And that's what drives it. The college football calendar with these games and all this stuff, signing days do not blend well with the academic calendars. And so that's why a lot of people, you're seeing a lot of teams. We'll mention the ones that have turned down bowl games this year. There's so many factors to it. Coaching changes, either they're fired or they're preparing for next year. Players are transferring. There's just so many things that come into it. You remember 2 or 3 years ago, JT, when FSU played Georgia? And it was like half of the
team didn't play.
They didn't play, and Georgia beat them 66-3 or something. That's why sometimes schools don't take these bowl games, which is also affecting the quality of the competition and really the relevance and whether they should continue them. Exactly. So there are many factors with that. But shout out to Southern Miss for being relevant again, making a bowl game this year. And this again here, JT, goes back to you don't need 4 years to turn a program around.
Right.
With transfer portal, NIL, you can make a quick recovery. And to look at Vanderbilt too. But the Western Kentucky and Southern Miss at the Superdome. The New Orleans Bowl. Scooters. Yeah, here we go. The Frisco Bowl. Scooters Coffee. Frisco Bowl. UNLV versus Ohio. And man, I wish Dan Mullen was still at the University of Florida. But anyway, too many impatient Gator fans. This game could be good. Your Bobcats are in there. We got a action here, JT.
Oh, yeah.
One of the ones I like, Christmas Eve. California versus Hawaii at the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve. Yay.
Yeah, I'd never go to that one. Michigan State got robbed years ago there. They'll never go and play in Honolulu ever again.
Wait, literally robbed or robbed by the officials?
Oh, like the officials were so bad. Oh. The color commentary wanted to leave the stadium.
Well, that's bad when the commentators get into it. So, the December 26th, we got the Game Above Sports Bowl, Central Michigan, Northwest. Talk about turnarounds. Give Northwestern credit. Not only did they help get James Franklin out of Penn State, they made a bowl game this year. This is really big for them. A good turnaround. Of course, they play in the Chippewas of Central Michigan. A very regional matchup. JT, you going?
I mean, I guess these teams might get you a higher turnout than anything else.
Yeah.
No one is going to this game unless you got free tickets.
If I could pay for it. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's the day after Christmas at 1 p.m. Who is okay, I'm not going to say no one's going, but maybe there's a situation at your house where there's a lot of people staying and visiting, and you want to leave, and the men just want to leave for a while and let all the wives and sisters and daughters sit around the house and talk or something.
Right.
Maybe you go to this game. These Ford Field games have always been terribly low attendance.
Well, I will tell you, who would want to go into Detroit? So,
it's not really necessarily that, because they have enough police to kind of keep this little half square mile okay.
Yeah.
But you've got to pay for parking on this.
Yep. Yeah.
For a dirt lot in the street, $30.
And then lucky, you're probably talking about at least $50 for a ticket. That's the biggest problem I have with even our local one. I don't want to pay more than $25 for especially teams I care nothing about. So, and Jess is here. Hey, Jess.
Yeah, and it's a 500 Northwestern team versus 7-5.
Yeah.
Central team.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at this and it's like, why? Just why?
Yeah. Well, hey, why? Rate Bowl. New Mexico and Minnesota and Phoenix. Congratulations again. The Lobos turned their program around. They had an attendance of a game recently of over 30,000 fans. I mean, they really turned their program around. So where we poo-poo a lot of things and a lot of programs, and there are some good things happening in college sports and some good stories too. And New Mexico is another one of those. We got Vanderbilt, but we got New Mexico, and they play in Minnesota here and Phoenix at the Rate Bowl. This is Friday, and of course, then this is when we start to pack up. Have more games here. Also, that night, Serpro First Responder Bowl, FIU versus Texas San Antonio. Wow, Roadrunners. Wow, they made a bowl. Yeah,
tickets for that game start at $25.
Oh, in
for
Detroit?
The end zone for pick your own seat end zone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I gotta see what our matchup is, and then I'll figure out the ticket prices on that. But hey, in Dallas, this could be good. Of course, you got Florida International and Texas San Antonio. Let's see, Saturday 22nd, the Go Bowling Military Bowl. Sam, this one's for you, Sam. The Go Bowling Military Bowl. Pitt and East Carolina, the Pirates. Arg. Pitt versus East Carolina in the Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. Wow. But see, I think the service academies are so bad outside of Navy this year that I'm surprised Navy's not in this bowl, but we'll see where they get to go. So, yeah.
Well, Army's bowl eligible, just not in this one.
Yeah, I'm surprised if Army's bowl eligible, why they would not be taken for this bowl. Well, except for Navy bias, but that just happens to be the stadium. But yeah, Pitt and East Carolina, that vaunted Pitt Panthers on everybody's schedule, that is quality of win. Oh my gosh, let's see. Stuck with playing East Carolina. Oh my God! Penn State made a game. Penn State made a bowl game.
They did, and look where it is. Look where it is.
Bronx, in New York.
At Yankee Stadium.
Of course, it's the bad boy mowers. Yeah, Pinstripe Bowl. Of course, you got to get the Yankees in there. Holy crap! See, I've not seen any of these matchups, so this is.
And then the next one is at Fenway.
Oh yeah, I remember.
The next one is at Fenway.
Yeah, God.
So you've got two baseball field football games at the same time.
Most years, this would be a great matchup.
What's stupid about this? One game starts at noon and the other game starts at 2:15. Why couldn't you have one start at noon and one start at like 6? Because the
Yankees and the Red Sox can't let each other have it. Okay. Any comments about this?
You could work it so you could go to both of them at the same time on the same day.
Yeah,
take the train from one to the other. I mean, it would take you a while, but
but you had to have travel time. But what do you think about this?
And start one at 6 or 7.
What do you think of this matchup? How did Penn State even get to 500? I guess it's like or are they a 5-7 team that got invited? I'm like shocked.
They're 6-6. They hit 500. That's why.
But normally, what do you think of this matchup? Normally, this could be a good matchup on paper. I'm
not watching it. I don't care.
Okay.
And I don't think our good friend Admiral T would go and watch this either.
Yeah.
You know who might is the Great West Gaggle. He might take a long trip up from his area of the world.
See Penn State. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what this next one is. The Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Army. There's your Army.
Yep.
Golly.
Yep.
UConn versus Army. There's Smart D with a C. How the heck did Army get there instead of the Military Bowl?
Let's see. UConn is 9-3 and Army is 6-5.
I just don't. The Army, the Caissons go marching along. By the way, this Saturday is the Army-Navy game. That's why they're 6-5.
Go Army.
I don't know if I can pull off. I wish it was on a different network than CBS. I have access to ESPN resources, but the mention had been made to try to do a watch party to do something like that, but I don't know that I can pull it off. Even privately, but it's like get a bunch of people together for Army Navy. That'd be a big bowl game by itself.
Yeah.
Wow. UConn versus Army, Fenway Park. Okay, we got that. Pop-Tarts Bowl. Sam, you can come to Florida, Orlando, Florida. I like this matchup. I think this is going to be a fun matchup. I like both of these teams. Georgia Tech's fun to watch for me.
Isn't this the one Notre Dame rage quit on?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Notre Dame was supposed to be scheduled to play BYU here in this game, and that's when Notre Dame turned down a bowl invite. But I love the name Pop-Tarts Bowl. This is one of the good names out there. But like I said, I'm excited about this one. This one is on what day? Saturday the 27th. I could watch this game.
That's good football time.
Yeah, and it's a good matchup. Georgia Tech and BYU this is probably the best matchup of teams that I would want to watch so far. Of all the others, there's some intriguing like with the South Florida that matchup, but this is the one that I see that I would actually invest time because I've seen, and probably helps that I've seen both teams, and I like a lot about both teams. But I think it's a good matchup. It could be a fun game.
You could actually get there in a day's drive, right?
Yeah, I could actually go there.
A lot of these other games you can't.
Yeah, but anytime I go to Orlando, I gotta get a hotel. I gotta stay over. All right, let's see the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Oh no.
Miami, Ohio, Fresno State. All you need is Toledo in that game, but they're elsewhere. But okay, Arizona State
Bowl.
Yeah, it's the CW networks in that.
Albuquerque's rough though.
Yeah,
like going to a bowl game in Memphis or something.
Yeah,
you just.
Yeah, here you go. The Isleta, New Mexico Bowl, North Texas and San Diego State. Meet halfway in between in Albuquerque. Don't take that left at Albuquerque, Bugs Bunny said. Oh, gosh. Tax Slayer Gator. Oh, dear God.
What, is because it's Tax Slayer? Or
no, friggin' Virginia and Missouri. Two of the worst freaking teams that I never, ever want to ever watch. I don't care. They're boring. They suck. Missouri sucks. Missouri shouldn't be in the SEC. This is like putting Iowa. I would rather go watch Iowa, Tennessee play here again than Virginia and Missouri. You're going to be lucky for a 16-13 football game in this case. Oh, my God. JT, do me a favor if you don't mind. See what tickets are running for the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. I'm just curious.
Let's see.
At 7:30 p.m. on ABC. That's going to put people to sleep nationally on that Saturday night. God, I mean, I feel bad for this. I feel bad for this bowl. This is really one of the best bowls in history that's been underrated. But to get stuck with this matchup, I would rather have BYU and Georgia Tech. You know what? If BYU, Georgia Tech were here, I'd go watch that game.
Secondary market, cheapest on their official secondary market site, $49.14, and that's for section 124, which is end zone.
No, still pretty low. That's not. That's too much for my blood for this matchup. BYU, Georgia Tech, I'd be all over it. Yeah. Mizzou. Oh, Dave called me. They're boring, and that should be a playoff criteria. Yeah. It's like, oh gosh. Oh God. I just why? I think this is a matchup that they were stuck with these teams, and I think probably Virginia will travel well because they've had a lot of down years. Missouri probably travels well. The thing with this bowl and the people that run it, they are very aware of the fan bases. They are looking for good matchups, but they're looking to fill seats. And I know Virginia will travel well. I know they've had a good year, really good year, and ended in disappointment. But they have all reason to travel. They've had heartache and tragedy on their campus with the football program in recent years, and it's they have one of the they do Does Wolfen, they do. I'm sorry, I'm biased against Missouri, as ever since they joined the SEC, I've who are they? And even people joke about the fact of Missouri. Do they really fit in the Southeastern Conference? But oh God, I'm so disappointed in that matchup. But actually not so much Missouri.
Was Missouri not one of the states in rebellion?
No, they were a border state. They never went.
Okay.
They stayed neutral officially.
Okay.
But honestly, the breaker for this team, this matchup for me, is Virginia, not Missouri. Anyway. Chewy had mentioned this, LSU and Houston in the Kinder's Texas Bowl. Wow, that's
like a chocolate?
Like
Kinder's chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got Monday, the 29th, the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl, Georgia Southern App State. Now, see, that's at 2 p.m. I could go for that. Birmingham, Alabama. If we went to visit the family, I could go do that. I saw Georgia Southern play years ago.
That's all you. That's like Northwestern Central.
Yeah, but both these teams, these small teams, can turn around and have some of the best matchups you ever watched before. Some of these lower bowls will be better than the bigger bowl games. So
sure.
Tuesday, December 30th, we got the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. I remember when it was a Poulan Weed Eater Bowl. But yeah, Coastal Carolina, Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech was a team that was put in a bowl last year with a losing record because they needed to fill slots. Let's see.
Now the second game I actually want to watch coming up.
Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl, Tennessee and Illinois. Rocky Top gets to stay in Tennessee, though.
The first real game we might have had so far. Maybe the second.
I'd take the second. Yeah. I'm all in the BYU Georgia Tech with that one.
Yeah, you're right. So this is like the second one worth watching. Yeah, in my list.
This one could be interesting. The Valero Alamo Bowl, Southern Cal and TCU. You got a Big 10, Big 12 matchup here. This game could be interesting here between these two teams.
Maybe.
But hey, it's better than some of the others, JT. We got to deal with what we got. Yeah. All right, takes us to New Year's Eve, which, folks, New Year's Eve, 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Yes, Mrs. and I will be awake at 4 a.m. Eastern Time on December 31st, starting our 26-hour, hopefully, around the world, ringing in the time zone, the New Year in every time zone. Yes, JT has plenty of memories. The first time I tried to do it, JT and Dave C had to jump on to help me even get through California.
And then last year we did a little better.
We did better. I learned that I need to hydrate and sleep and rest well. No streams the day before or a couple days leading to it. I need to focus, train myself like a good athlete for those streams and all. And actually, the first year we did it, it featured JT Kirk's first time ever doing a face reveal when I said Rathacon was meh. When I said Rathacon was meh, JT actually took the step of showing his face on camera.
Yeah. So let's see here. We've got Iowa at Vanderbilt.
Let's see.
In Tampa.
Oh, God. Poor Vanderbilt. They get stuck with... Well, I don't know. Iowa scored 40 points the other day, so maybe this Iowa team's better. This could be a good matchup.
It's a real game. It's actually a real game.
Yeah. And good for Vanderbilt. They deserve it. They deserve a better game. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Yay! Yes, in El Paso. 2 teams condemned to the border city there. Arizona State and Duke, the ACC champions. Miami Hurricanes, your ACC champions. The Duke Blue Devils. But Duke is kind of fun at times. This could be interesting, except for Arizona State. They're down on quarterbacks. Of course, their quarterback, is looking to transfer, taking offers already. So now they're back to Jeff Sims, a journeyman quarterback, actually from here, to be the starter because, that's a problem. NIL is like these players are starting to move even before seasons are over. Anyway, Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Hey, folks, if you like Cheez-Its, it's Michigan and Texas. This is actually a good matchup. A
bunch of sour-faced has-been programs going at it. Yep. We got the Nebraska made a bowl game too. Yeah, in Utah, the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Nice. What we got with that one? Yep.
So then we got New Year's
Ohio
Day.
State at 7:30 playing Texas A&M.
Yeah. So we've got that. We've already talked about the playoff games. What we got so on the 2nd on Friday, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Rice and Texas State.
Because of course.
What happened in
makes
Navy,
me laugh.
though?
I'm sorry. It's like the General Dynamics Armed Forces Bowl or the Boeing. It's Lockheed Martin. No, thank you. No.
And Rice made a bowl. That's like I thought they really were bad, but hey. There's Navy, and the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. I would go to that game for one reason, to go back to Uncle Lou's fried chicken in Memphis. But hey, Navy plays Cincinnati. That could be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl. Here's a case where 5-7 Mississippi State got invited to bowl game because of other teams ahead of them passing on the invite. This could be a fun matchup. Wake Forest and Mississippi State. Could be interesting.
You're getting kind of tired of bowl games by this point, though.
Yeah, and they look at it, 8:00 on a Friday night. It's like, that's going to really bring people in. Trust and Will Holiday Bowl. This is the Holiday Bowl, Arizona and SMU, Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego.
Okay, everybody's back in the office.
No, they gave us
right.
They gave us. Sorry, they gave us.
I thought it was on the 8th.
Yeah, and that's it. Hey, at least it ends on the 2nd this year.
Yeah, that's actually a gift.
Some days, some years they've gone to like the 4th or 5th or the 8th, actually, a whole week later, because of the way the games fall for the playoffs. But like I said, it's folks, and also some of the things that we talked about here. See, just too many bowl games. Certain ones don't have much value. They're valid reasons. Iowa State and Kansas. Their coaches took new jobs and they have to put new staffs in. So that's why sometimes, go back to Legatus' earlier question, why do these teams do this? Some are like, you have the occasional Notre Dame, which will say, we're not going, we're too good, or whatever happens. But with all the coaching changes, and also signing day was last Wednesday. I mean, in the middle of the season, that's one of the things of discussion for another time, though. But all these things factor into why these teams don't take bowl games also. I mean, you got players signing at new schools. You got coaches leaving. The transfer portal. remember last year, Tennessee had several players. They were a playoff team, but they had several players in the transfer portal even before they played the playoff game against Ohio State. So there's a lot of other factors that are making it difficult. Not everybody is doing it because they felt jilted. Actually, we talked about 10 teams. We know about Notre Dame. There's Iowa State and Washington State that were mentioned, or Kansas State. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down this article. There's 7 other teams that were 5-7. You would think a 5-7 team would actually take a bowl bid, being lucky, get the paycheck. But they, let's see. Florida State, Auburn, UCF, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple, and Kansas. Why would Rutgers not take it, or Temple especially? Why wouldn't you take it's like, anyway, anything, a lot of coaches look at it as one more chance to play. Others are ready to move on for the next season. And like Buddy said also earlier, players already announced plan to entering the portal. And then, they can't have those players play in it. So, so that to answer your question, Legatus, is there's so many factors with it. It's not just that they don't want to play sometimes. It's that there are practical, real effects and considerations that they have to do with that. So, all right, JT, I think we're done for tonight. Do you have any?
I think we covered it. We covered it.
And there's still big issues out there on the table that we have not even had a chance to get discussed. One, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning, there is talk about Utah turning over their athletic program to funding and running by a for-profit corporation or investor group. So that will be interesting to see how that happens or how that develops. I mean, we're really getting into the world. College football is not college football anymore. It's not just amateur sports. It's insane. I agree. The transfer portal has ruined it because, the quarterback for Arizona State, I can't remember his name offhand, but their starter, he's been banged up a little bit this year. But they've been talking about for the last few weeks, will he be there in Arizona State? And it sounds like he's been talking behind the scenes with other schools to transfer openly. That's not good for the sport and all. I mean, you can't even do that in the NFL. That's tampering, Yeah, Coach Sidney Sweeney saves the Gators. So, and Buddy said, even us going to Notre Dame game announced the new coach. I don't know why you wouldn't wait till after the final game if you're out of contention for playoffs and a bowl at least. So, yeah, I get you. Any other thoughts?
Fallout, Dave? Coach Sidney Sweeney will save the Gators.
No. At least give people a reason to watch, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, folks, I think we covered it. If there's anything else y'all feel like, let us know. If we'll pick it up next week or whenever. But hopefully you enjoy it. There are some good games out there. There's some reasons to watch college football and the bowl games. I used to be better about watching the bowl games, but just I don't know. In recent years, the matchups have not been compelling, and there are just a few that are compelling, and I don't. But like I said, I don't want to spend $50 to go watch Missouri and Virginia. I mean, if Missouri played Miami, but even then, I don't like Miami. I don't know. I've not gone to a Gator Bowl game in many, many years. I think the last one I went to, I took Ang because Georgia was here. Georgia and Nebraska. So
right.
But there was some
that's what I'm saying. The only real reason a lot of people are going to go to these games, especially the one in Detroit, is if you've got a huge family gathering or something, and it's the day after, and the men just want to get out of the house and do their own thing. It's either that or go to the movies, and the game is there, and it's not because you really want to watch this matchup. And when that's the quality of your product, I don't know the future of it, really.
Well, last year they had Ole Miss and Duke here, and it was a rout. that would have been a better matchup though. But still, it just still would. I don't know. So when you said secondary market, is that like the StubHub or those type of? Okay,
Ticketmaster,
I think
StubHub, that kind of thing.
Then obviously before they've had the prices have been higher, so that for that low in that stadium,
right?
There must be no demand on those tickets to be that low, because I expected you to say $60 or $75.
Yeah.
So.
And they might even go down the closer you get. Who knows, right?
Yeah. I agree. I just hate legalized scalping. That's all the secondary market is. I hate it because I never trust people to deliver the right tickets. I always be afraid, especially with them online now and the virtual stuff being, I guess they could be quote more secure, but still I always afraid to get in there and be told I bought an invalid, I got scammed, so.
Right.
All right, JT, any last thoughts? Anything you want to pitch coming up?
Nope, I think we're good. I'm going to be probably off the interwebs for the rest of the week because I got a text Monday from my ISP telling me that Wednesday through Saturday they're going to be taking my internet down for 8 to 10 hours at a time for quote unquote upgrades.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, or like Buddy said, and this has happened. Somebody already entered with your digital ticket. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, I got you. Well, good luck with all that. Hopefully, you survive the blizzard coming, and like I said, we'll just be here and having fun, and we'll try to be back next weekend. Now, if we come back in the next few weeks, we probably will do more than just talking college football. We'll probably talk some about the NFL. Because we usually do as we have topics, and we may take a few Tuesdays, with the holidays approaching, who knows, but we're in that spot where we're starting the process of transitioning beyond just college football. It's been a wonderful year talking college football focused with all you guys and ladies out there, getting to see some people. We got to have Sam on with us one Tuesday night.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And have that passion. You ought to listen to watch a game with her. Spirited. She knows her football, and Buddy and a lot of these people here. We wouldn't be here without you guys, and maybe after the first year we get past the NFL, we can keep going, and maybe we'll talk some new interesting sports around that maybe we'll talk about real football, for our European friends. But programming notes, a lot of what I'm going to be doing for a bit will be random in the next few weeks at this point. Looking at Wednesday nights, like I said, remember New Year's Eve through New Year's Day, we'll be doing our annual New Year's celebration. But I will tell you that tomorrow night, Mrs. and I will probably doing Fortnite. So, Wednesday nights are going to be a little bit different for the near future. Wes will not be available for a bit. So, a lot of things will change. We'll see what happens and things go. But just be prepared. Like you said earlier, Deeple, that the notifications don't go out. So also follow me on Twitter. That way you can see when we go live, because I always try to tweet out multiple times when we do go live. All right. With that being said, JT, thank you. Everybody out
in the chat. You're very welcome, and thank you.
Absolutely great. Hey, I loved your research. Did a great job tonight. Everybody out there, y'all have a good night, as Father Dave said, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, all.